Okay, good day, everyone. This is Mog Senior High School, Sir Glenn Cadiz Arandilla for Oral Communication. And this is lesson 3 of Module 1, Functions of Communication. So, again, I have 4 sections in this class: the Humes 11 Peterson, Humes 11 Trotsky, ABM Bezos, and ABM Jobs. Okay, for lesson 3, Functions of Communication. So, the best answer to bad speech is good speech. True. Okay, so what I need to know in this lesson, you are expected to first discuss the functions of communication, second, identify the speaker's purpose, and third, express yourself in writing away your emotions. Now, what's in? For activity 1, all right, here, activity 1. In the previous lessons of this module, we have discussed the nature and process of communication as well as its elements that play vital roles in effective communication. Write your answers on communication activity notebook. Okay, so answer this one. What significant learning could you easily recall when you talk about elements of communication? Second, which of the elements do you think is of great importance? Which is of the least importance? So answer this one in your communication activity notebook. All right, for what I know, let's go to a pre-test. This is the test again. You know this drill. Um, what you know already, or what are the things you have already in mind about this topic. So this is just to test you in your, again, a communication activity notebook. Answer this one. Answer directly. So this is a 10 item um, quiz or test. Okay. So what's new? Activity 2, draw and speak up. Think of one very important object that you cannot live without and draw it. Think of the reasons why this object means so much to you. How does this function in your life? Write your answers on your communication notebook. Write your answer, of course, clearly. But first, draw the object. Okay, so draw the object first and then explain why you have that object. Okay, so again, not just an ordinary object. I think of one very important object that you cannot live without and draw it. So I'll give you the freedom, no limitation of what object, be it alive or not. So draw it, and you'll have to explain it later. All right, so what is it? The 5 basic functions of communication. First, control. This one. To exercise restraint or direction formally or informally, this happens particularly among members of acquaintances. Of course, when we communicate, there always control. There should always control. Just like what we have discussed earlier in the previous lessons, that it doesn't mean that we have this freedom to talk. We have to talk whatever we want to talk, but we see to it that we need to control and try to think first what to talk, okay, or what to say. Right. Using communication to regulate or control means use of verbal and nonverbal cues to manage individual or group. Of course, since in a group there is this different backgrounds of individuals, different ideas. So you may share and then try to understand the different ideas from that group. This kind of communication is meant to encourage the person to reciprocate encouraging or positive feedback from the initial interaction. So example, an interviewee trying to control herself to meet the expectations set by the interviewer. The interviewee changes her behavior according to how the interviewee or interviewer manages the conversation. Yes, in an interview. Okay. Second is social interaction. Social interaction communication allows acting and reacting to the behavior of people around us by revealing our thoughts and feelings. We elicit reactions from others. Social interaction. So we interact socially since human beings we we communicate with each other. So one of the reasons why we communicate is to connect. Of course, it's true. Connect with ourselves. Social interaction and emotion expressions are the most used form of communications we use. So however, the way we communicate with others will depend on how close we are to them or how much we value them. That's true. Okay. It is different when we communicate with our friends, our best friends, and compare it to our new acquaintances. We have different kind of communication with them since we don't know them that much. So, third, emotional expression. So, communication makes possible the release of unloading of emotions, resulting in catharsis. It facilitates people's expression of their feelings and emotions. Emotional expression is also a form of communication, of course. It's part of being human. As with how you talk with someone, depending on your relationship with persons, emotional expressions can also be communicated differently depending on how emotionally close you are to the person, just like what I said earlier. Okay, we can open up, we can open our emotions to the people that we know. Okay, and it's hard to open up to the people that we don't know. But in some instances, there are times that it's easy to open up to those people that we don't know, to the strangers, rather than opening something that is probably your secret to the one that you know, to the one that you love, because you're trying to protect something. It will depend. Fourth is motivation, the energy that influences a person's behavior in different ways to his pursuit of his goal or objective. It encourages people to live better. Yes, we are living with different motivations. To motivate means to stimulate people to act on their goals. However, the motivational kind of communication can work in two ways: positive or negative motivation. So, the positive motivation happens when the speaker who is motivating someone or group uses his or her skills in communication as a bridge towards assessments, confidence, knowledge, etc. While on the other hand, the negative motivation can lead either to communication, apprehension, social anxiety, shyness, or public speaking anxiety. Yes, it always go in two ways. Communication anxiety happens when a person becomes fearful communicating with another person or group. Yes, um, it's normal actually. It's hard to communicate. It's hard to communicate to someone, to the people, to a crowd. Even in our own family, it's hard to communicate. But we do that because we live um, daily. We need to communicate with each other. Context apprehension happens when the anxiety to communicate happens certain situation only to a interpersonal, small group, or excuse me, public speaking. Fear of public speaking is also called stage fright. Everyone is experiencing this stage fright. I think no one in this world is very confident to talk. Even the masters or even the most fluent speakers still have this stage fright always. But you can manage. It is manageable. This is when a person hesitates to or avoids speaking in front of a large group of a large audience. I can always remember diba, those times and still happening. The next is shyness. This happens when you feel uncomfortable when speaking to a small group or people. Shy people are afraid to initiate communication, actively participate in small group discussions. There are a lot of factors why people are shy to share, to talk, but again, just like stage fright, you can manage the shyness, and control it to improve your communication skills. Lastly, we have social anxiety, which when someone hesitates interpersonal communication, this kind of anxiety happens when a person feels threatened and scared of what other people say or think about them. True. It will always depend on the audience. It's hard to, just like, in my personal my experience. I've been talking in so many speaking engagements already, but not that much. But I always noticed it's hard to talk to an audience where, just like you, they are reading, they know what you're talking, they know, meaning they are educated. They know what you're talking, they know the topic. It's hard to talk about it because it's the hardest part is to, when you are talking, there are better people. There are always better people in the room. So in my experience, okay. So anyway, that's part of it. But since you're the speaker, you have the microphone. And let's proceed now. Oh, where are we? Oh, oh my god. Okay, wait, what happened to my... Okay, so um those are the, what do you call that, the basic functions of communication. All right. So another one additional is information dissemination. It is the most basic function of communication that provides data and information for effective completion of tasks, um, solution of problems, and elimination of uncertainty. Yes, it's very very important to disseminate, to share. Information exchange is the core reason why we communicate, of course. Okay, if the message will not reach the end of the line, or to where it should be heading, then there's no communication at all. These are the five functions of communication. Okay, so what's more, the purposes of communication can be effectively realized and fulfilled by using different kinds of talks. So we have here the different kinds of talks. Small talk is a form of a non-threatening communication that may be used to affect social interaction. Purpose: to maintain status quo, to break the ice, to get acquainted, and to establish a relationship. Second, light control talk. This is the tactful use of power to get results and may be used to motivate people. The purpose is to persuade, to direct, to seek but not force agreement, and to use legitimate authority. Third is heavy control talk. Is designed to place blame, to control, regulate people. This great defensiveness on the part of the receiver and is rarely, if ever, appropriate. The purpose is to blame, to attack, to threaten, to coerce, and to demand. Fourth is search talk. Is another non-threatening approach when you want to gather data of or the consensus of others to be able to provide information. Purpose is to center or an issue and to examine and clarify the issue. Fifth is straight talk. It is good for problem solving, conflict resolution, and may be used to facilitate emotional expression for catharsis, which is the act of purging, cleansing, and unloading of ideas and emotions. To concentrate the here and now, to focus on issues, to share feelings, to acknowledge feelings, and to accept without judging. This shares a lot of information for you, right? So we're done with the kinds of talks. Let's proceed. What I have learned here, you answer again in your notebook. Personal matter. Cite an example situation where you used the given functions of communication. Write your answers on your communication activity note. For example, control. My mother scolded me. Her anger made me keep quiet. Okay, so the functions here, try to use or think of a personal matter if it's okay. Okay, if it's okay, if you really want to share the personal matter, but I guess if it is not that okay to share those super personal, then it's fine. Just cite an example. It's fine. Okay, in control, social interaction, emotional expression, motivation, information. Okay, so what can I do? Another, in your notebook, choose one of the scenarios you have mentioned in activity 2 and explain the scenario involving you in not less than 100 words. How the particular function of communication becomes so significant in your life. Write your answers on your communication notebook. Okay, so not less than 100 words. Activity 5, gratefully yours. Imagine communication is as your best friend. He have been with you ever since. Write a short message of gratitude to communication for everything it has done to you. Write your answers on your communication activity notebook. Excuse me. So, example: if it's your friend, communication is your friends. If communication is a person, dear communication. Write a letter. Okay. Now, activity 6: be purposive. Fill in the table below where the information learned from the discussion earlier about the purpose of communication. You may use words or phrases in filling out the matrix. The first item is already given. Write your answers on your communication notebook. So, type of communication, so small talk, description, best of use, purposes, and so on. Activity 7, how much do you know? Identify functions of communication in each of the following situation. Write your answers in your communication notebook. Okay, so we have here letter A and letter B. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's go back to activity number, wait, let's have some technical difficulty. All right, so here, uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh no, where are you? Oh, here. Activity 7. Okay. So answer this one. A and B. Activity 8. Talk show. From groups of 5, present a talk show on any topics related to communication, especially those applied to your strand. Be guided by the rubrics. So, activity 8, talk show. I guess this time we cannot do it live since this is a distant learning, and I understand the you know problem of um, gadgets and all. But with this activity 8, I want you to create um, a script, a short skit of a talk show. Okay, so I want you to be a director of a talk show or a writer of a talk show, and then write what's the title of the talk show, and then write what will happen to the talk show, the segments and all. Make a script. Okay, so and then that's it. Not a long script, very short script. Okay, so here we go again. All right. Okay, so we're almost done. It's activity 8, so let's proceed here. All right, so we're done with the talk show. Self check, you know the drill, the self checking. You just read that one and answer that one. An additional activity, you know already also the reflection, answer that one. And we're done. Congratulations for a job well done, but you do the post test, answer that. Same in communication notebook. Here, and how many items? Mm, 30 items is remarkable. All right, so you have just completed the lessons, activities, and test of the module. Relax, buckle up for the next ride to move for the exciting parts and activities of the next module. So we're done with lesson three of module one. Um, so I just had make it quick for a run through, not just a walkthrough, a run through of a discussion. So we will continue this one after, since we're done with this lesson, we will continue to the next. I'll give more instructions further in our GC. Okay, have a good day. Thank you.